Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. A look inside episode, insert number here. The Baltimore Ravens. I'm trying to deduct how many teams have left. This has to be 26 or 27. It's somewhere up there. We're nearing the end, folks. We have entered the divisional round of the playoffs. 12-5 were the Ravens last year. Oh, baby. Same coach, same offense. And pretty much literally the exact same offense, add on a very, very old wide receiver, as the Baltimore Ravens do every single year. But it is pretty much looking the exact same. I would imagine you can expect a lot of the same coming from this offense. We're here to break it down. Let's get into it. Welcome in, no punt intended. I guarantee you Josh knows the episode number that we're
It's
on.
literally at the top of the show sheet, dude.
Yeah, he added that for you like 5 show sheets ago.
I don't read the show sheet.
You don't have time for that.
I know. The first line that's up at the tippity top? No shot I'm reading that. The first word? No.
You're a heavy hitter in the industry now. You don't got time to be reading shit.
I'm looking at the meat of this section. By the time this episode comes out, this will have already been out. So I have a 3-2-2 going on ESPN on Saturday. I got something going on the CW on Sunday. We got a Party Animals OTT happening over on YouTube. My idea is absolutely knocked out of the park this week, no pun intended, over there in Banana Land. So we got some
congratulations, buddy.
Very nice, man.
We got some fun stuff. I am choreographing a line dance for a player and his wife that is going on the first ever broadcast cable television for the Bananas, which is crazy.
Very
so
cool.
Shout out my mom for putting me in dance classes when I was younger and gymnastics for 3 years, because who the hell thought that would pay off as a full-time
I was
job.
gonna say, seeing you at your wedding, dude, like you on the dance floor is a match made in heaven.
That's what all the players said. I taught them the first dance, and they were like, "Can we get you a jersey?" I'm like, "I know."
This dude Joe,
I know,
living that life. I'm proud of you, buddy.
12-5. John Harbaugh, Todd Monken. It's truly like just so. I know a lot of Ravens fans. They're saying it's John. Like just John. It's your time. Put him out to pasture. Like, is John Harbaugh a bad coach? No.
It was the same thing with Andy Reid in Philly. It just like it got to the point where you just can't get over the hump, and sometimes you just need that infusion of a new mind, a new coach, a new system, whatever it may be. Like
his 1 year over the hump was Ray Lewis announcing his retirement halfway through the year, which I still firmly believe to this day is the sole reason the Baltimore Ravens rallied around and won that Super Bowl that year.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco was, I mean this so nicely, unconscious in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Absolutely balls to the wall, unconscious in the playoffs. Oh, and they freaking played Colin Kaepernick. No disrespect, because the man had a good year. They played Colin Kaepernick in the Super Bowl. What did he do after that one season?
It's like the year that Peyton Manning with the Colts, like they won their Super Bowl. They played the Bears and Rex Grossman.
Who did you beat?
Yeah.
Who did you beat? You beat Rex Grossman. Come on now. Yeah. You didn't beat anybody. They just happened to be there.
Yeah.
Horrible. Anyways. Underdog, this is where we get all of our ADPs as of July 21st, which is pretty much the time of this recording, folks. You use promo code WOFF, free pick, first time deposit match up to $1,000. Once again, like, subscribe. If you don't get us to 1,500 by the start of the season, Ryan's shaving his head. I'm changing it every episode now. It's shave the head, leave the beard. That's the crazy part.
That'd be a wild look with as big as the beard is.
He's going to bleach the beard and shave his head.
Okay.
And then the eyebrows will be orange. So,
one of my favorite colors. So,
and then the next episode he'll be
Marlia. If you're listening, we're sorry.
Listen, Ryan's doing just fine in life. I think he can afford a buzz cut and a bleached beard. Okay?
Yeah, nobody's firing me.
Yeah, we're okay. All right. QB1, Lamar Jackson. Duh. He is the quarterback 2 behind Josh Allen. RB1, Derrick Henry. RB6. Welcome back to the top 10 conversation, Mr. Derrick Henry. I think you were a bubble top 10 guy last year.
He was.
Yeah. Justice Hill, RB61. Sure. Keaton Mitchell, if he can stay healthy. RB67. He's got some juice in there.
Pretty interesting that his ADP, 67 isn't high, but that is pretty high for a guy that nobody's ever seen do anything.
We're not going to talk about him. I do want to put the caveat. Justice Hill is not a bad late pick in PPR drafts.
Love that kid.
No, not at all.
Not at all. Justice Hill can't play football. Let's get that out of the way. He's horrible. He's bad. Horrible vision. Can't play. Doesn't matter when your rushing threat is Derrick Henry and your quarterback's Lamar Jackson.
And you can take a ball 40 yards on a receiving touchdown. So.
He's very fast. Very fast. Yep. Correct. Zay Flowers, wide receiver 1. Yikes. Wide receiver 31. Rashad Bateman, wide receiver 2. Yikes. Wide receiver 56. Wide receiver 3. DeAndre Hopkins. Yikes. Wide receiver 77.
This would have been so great even 3 years ago.
Would have been great last year.
No, he really wasn't good.
Nah, he fell off pretty well last year.
Yeah. That's fine. Mark Andrews, tight end 7. Isaiah Likely, tight end 15. Don't worry, folks. Mark Andrews not going anywhere anytime soon. So for all you Isaiah Likely fans, sorry. Thoughts and expectations, Ryan?
I guess this is going to sound redundant for somebody who listens to these 3 episodes in a row, but like we know what this offense is and we know what they're going to do.
There is, in terms of the top playmakers on the team, nothing changed.
Yeah.
Nothing.
You have to expect regression in the passing touchdowns. 41 passing touchdowns for Lamar is out of his mind. 27 the year before that, so it likely ends up somewhere in the middle. They scored 70 touchdowns last year, which is
unbelievable.
Wild. So here's the thing. I have Lamar all the way down to 29 touchdowns, but because of what he does rushing the ball, he's still my QB3. And if you take him as QB1, I agree with that. Like, I'm not mad about it. We're going to talk about Derrick Henry. The wide receivers are interesting. I've had this conundrum with Rashad Bateman because like the Ravens clearly love him and they gave him a decent contract again this year. And he didn't play terribly, but like, I guess when you don't throw as often as they don't throw, you don't care who your 3 wide receivers are as long as they fit your system. Joe, we had a lot of talk, and I'll let Josh talk about Mark Andrews, but we had a lot of talk, Joe, about Isaiah Likely getting drafted because we're drafting backup tight ends, which just feels weird to me. All in all, this offense is what this offense is. Lamar Jackson is going to get it. Derrick Henry is probably going to get it. Zay Flowers is going to have some weeks, and I love Mark Andrews. I'll be interested to hear Josh's take. But, like, there's no surprises here, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. You're probably right that, like, the Harbaugh message is probably going stale. But for fantasy, we don't really care about that because they're all going to perform week in and week out, and we're okay with that.
Yeah, I think it's so wild that the Ravens last season averaged less than 28 pass attempts per game. And Lamar Jackson threw for over 4,100 yards and 41 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That, like, the efficiency was just absolutely off the charts. And if you want to look back at his second year in the league when he won his first MVP award, it was a very similar situation. You know, he had 3,100 passing yards, 36 touchdowns, a 9% touchdown rate. Like, I mean, and the following season, he dropped down to 26 touchdowns, right? So, like, expecting some level of regression coming off of a 4,141 passing touchdown season, 100%, well within the realm of possibilities. I went through, when I did my projections, I have him at 3,800 passing yards and 31 touchdowns. He still stats out as my QB2. So, like, Ryan, I'm right there with you. Like, if you want to make the case that he's the QB1, 100%, have at it. He's perennially in the MVP conversation for a reason. He is that damn talented. And the way that this offense operates, I always find it really interesting. And it kind of takes me back to something that somebody said about the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts. Like, when offensive coordinators come in, you can throw your system right out of the water. Your system is Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
What you do, you are building around him. When you look at everything that Todd Monken has done as a play caller in the NFL, it went right out of the window when he came in for Lamar Jackson. Like everybody was like, oh, this team is going to start throwing more. They're going to have different passing concepts. They still don't average 30 passing attempts per game. They're a running football team. And they became even more of a running football team the moment they signed Derrick Henry. This offense will run through Jackson. It will run through Derrick Henry. Everybody else is an ancillary piece.
And that's the sign of a good coordinator. Mm-hmm. And again, if forbid Lamar gets hurt, Cooper Rush is not running the same offense as Lamar Jackson.
It goes back to the praise that Josh was heaping on Ben Johnson a month and a half ago when we started these episodes, was that Ben Johnson didn't come in and talk about how Caleb Williams was going to fit his system. He talked about how he was going to design a system for Caleb Williams, and that's what we saw out of Baltimore. Obviously, two very different players, Caleb Williams and Lamar Jackson.
So I mean, you're still going to see some concepts that, Monken has run in the past. But at the end of the day, it's still going to utilize Jackson's legs. It's going to utilize Derrick Henry. He's always had an affinity for tight ends, which is good because that's what's kept Mark Andrews relevant and why we've seen the jump in targets with Isaiah Likely.
Something I do want to bring up because we started off by saying we know what we're getting from this team. Taking away, I won't even take away the draft picks. On offense, they added one new piece in free agency. That could be a starter, and that's DeAndre Hopkins. Because the other two they added were Joseph Noteboom, a backup tackle, and Cooper Rush to be their backup quarterback.
Yeah.
They used one top 3 round draft pick on a right tackle who is hurt currently. The other 3 picks were used in the 5th, 6th, and 7th rounds. LeJounte Webster is the only weapon they went and got, and he was a 6th round pick, slot receiver. Most likely will make the team.
Yeah. And that's the thing with this offense. The last 2 seasons, the wide receiver 3 has averaged 3.5 targets per game or fewer. Last season, they were at 2.07. DeAndre Hopkins is not going to be a factor this year, people.
Even bouncing to the other side of the ball, they drafted Malachi Starks in the 1st round, which is not uncommon for this team, considering they drafted 1st round in 2021, 2022, 2024, and 2025 at the defensive position.
Yeah, shout out to Faith Enos, who wrote an article for Women of Fantasy Football. You can find it on the Club Fantasy site about Malachi Starks and her experience interviewing him at the draft, or at least asking some questions.
Starks is a great player. The only time they have not drafted 1st round defense since 2021 was 2023, and that pick was Zay Flowers, who has been solid for them.
Well, Rashad Bateman was also a 1st round pick for them.
Yes, but that was yes, they did have 2. They had 2 picks in that round. Sorry, my apologies. But then if Jair Alexander did not get released by the Packers, they did not sign a single starting defensive player to be new to plug into this defense. Because they would have gone in with their right corner being TJ Tampa. Then they used the 6th round pick on Bial Cohn.
Well, they thought they were going to have our Darius Washington. He tore his Achilles. So.
But he's even listed a free safety. So he wasn't even listed at the right corner. They got Chidobe Awuzie to back up Nate Wiggins. Oh, that's tough. Jake Hummel, John Jenkins, CJ Okoye. Like they didn't do anything in free agency. Their draft
all their money's tied up on offense.
well, 100. But that's what I'm saying. Even on offense, that's the point I'm getting at. Is
they know who they are and they're not mad about it.
Yeah, but I mean, this has always been a team too that they play the composition pick game. Like they don't hit free agency hard. They will wait and they'll sign the veterans that get released after that period that affects the comp picks. That's why they
signed a veteran. They signed one. He's 34 and about to die, and his name's DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, that's fair. But Hopkins wasn't commanding a contract that was truly going to affect.
No, of course not.
Picks, yeah.
No, of course not. Not at all. So it is interesting. Like this is the team. Like there's what you saw from them last year. I don't know if it can get better because those efficiency numbers as a passer, I don't know how, Lamar needs to be better than he was last year. And you could argue that was the best season he's had as a passer.
It is hands down the best season
hands
he
down.
had. And he's won 2 MVPs and didn't win an MVP last year.
Yeah.
Wild.
And he probably should have. I get giving it to Josh Allen. He probably should have. But neither here nor there. It's hard to say this offense is going to get better. So with Derrick Henry at RB6, Ryan, he was, where did he finished RB3 last year? Did I remember that correct? So he finished RB3 last year, was going around the RB10. So he obviously improved.
RB4 last year in PPR. I just looked at it. So
thank you. So he's now pretty much, call it, in the middle of where he finished last year to where he went and was being drafted last year. So he's now at RB6. Again, like we said, this offense getting better feels like a stretch because of how good and how efficient they were last year. I don't see another world where 1 year older Derrick Henry is a top 5 running back again.
Yeah. I'm not going to say anything negative about Derrick Henry here.
Oh, you can't.
Other than that he is 31 years old this season. But not many 30-year-old running backs have the highest yards per carry and most touchdowns of their career. It was definitely a weird season. Great for fantasy managers. Great for those who believed, because there were folks who didn't want to believe, and then there were the other half that were like, this is the perfect offense for Derrick Henry, and he's going to thrive. And they were absolutely right. Go ahead.
Derrick Henry had the quietest 1,900-yard season.
I was going to say, he's the only 1,900-plus yard rusher in NFL history to not lead the league in rushing.
And so that's had the quietest 1,900-yard year.
Well, it's only quiet
ever.
Because Saquon Barkley.
Yeah. Obviously, yes. If Saquon didn't do that, then yes. But it's just so funny. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't realize Derrick Henry had 1,900 rushing yards last year.
So again, I have nothing negative to say about the man. In my blurb for Football Guys, I basically said it's a fool's errand guessing when things are going to fall apart for Derrick Henry. And like Mike Evans, I'm going to keep betting on him until he gives me a reason not to. However, we just did the Houston Texans episode 3 days ago when this airs. I can't take this guy this high. I'm sorry, folks. Running back 6 is too much for me when you look at the names that are on the board. And I'm just going to run off the names I have ahead of him in my rankings. Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Ashton Genty, the rookie, Christian McCaffrey coming back, Saquon Barkley, who essentially did the same thing, Devon Achane, Jonathan Taylor. I like Bucky Irving. I know Joe doesn't love him. And then I have him one spot behind Derrick Henry, but I'm taking Kieran Williams ahead of Derrick Henry. So there are at least 9 backs I'm taking over Derrick Henry, maybe to my chagrin based on what he did last year. I just think it's too high, and I'm not going to. There's more upside elsewhere, which sounds stupid to say, but I'll let Josh finish the sentence for me. He just doesn't catch enough passes.
I mean, 19 passes last year.
19,
most,
on 22 targets.
Sorry.
You were right. On 22 targets is all I was going to throw out there. And you don't typically score 2 rushing or receiving touchdowns on those numbers either. So,
I mean, he had 3 total in his career coming into last season. So what is crazy about Henry is obviously like the age. We said, 30's the fall off for a lot of running backs, not for, Ultron. Like that's just, that's not the case apparently, because he had
the best season of his career, arguably.
Well, his 2,000-yard season in 2020
I just mean yards per carry and tied for most touchdowns. Like there is an argument to be made. This is the best season of his career. Obviously, the 2,000 is going to be his pride and joy.
I mean, if you go back to 2020, last year he was 27 yards total from scrimmage less behind his 2020 season, with more touchdowns. So 100%. It's arguable.
Age 30 season.
Yes, in his age 30 season. So he's now 31 with, I run this number through your head, 2,300 rushing attempts.
Wow. That doesn't even include all the work in college and how much they used him in high school.
Yeah.
I think there was some stat or something. Didn't he have like 500 touches or something?
I was going to say 400. Yep. So something like that.
Why would astronomical number like that?
If you're the coach, why would you give it to anybody else?
I get that, but that's the point that I'm getting at. Like, This man has so much wear and tear on his body. And the dude looks like a Greek god.
Yep. He takes care of himself very well.
I've never, I think the only athlete that would probably rival that is LeBron, because LeBron is still doing it at 41. That is impressive to
me. They belong in a sentence together. That's for sure.
The way
Brady
that they take care of their bodies.
45 was cool, but he didn't look like Derrick.
Yeah, they're very different.
Very different.
Physical.
Very different. Brady's very pliable. Derrick Henry's very, I can run through you.
Yeah, what's the opposite of pliable? Because that's what Derrick.
I'd say I'm about to look it up. Antonym of pliable, but it is crazy. So I will say, because we'll go back to his 2020 season, and now this is to say, remember the year after his 2020 season where he went for 2,000 yards, Derrick Henry was on a ridiculous pace through 8 games. I don't know if you remember this.
Oh yeah, didn't he have over 200, almost like 200 carries in 8 games or something?
He had 219 rushing attempts in 8 games. So
he had a full season in half a season.
Yep,
he was on pace for 438 rushing attempts that season
and 20 touchdowns.
In 20 touchdowns with 1,900 yards rushing. That is what he was on pace for. Oh, also that year, he had 18 catches in 8 games. They were using him in the passing game.
That was the first year of 17 games. We don't even know what he could have done that season.
So that's what's crazy is he could have back-to-back 2,000 seasons. So that's what I want to bring up in this same statement is, yeah, if Derrick Henry stayed healthy, he could have back-to-back 2,000-yard seasons. Here's the issue. He didn't stay healthy because he just ran for 2,000 yards the previous year. We talked about this, and I'm sure this will be brought up on the Philly episode on the final look inside. Guys that rush for 2,000 yards fall off, and we say fall off to like 1,400, 1,300 yards. They're still a top.
No, they fall off even further than that. The most any 2,000-yard rusher has rushed for the following season was Barry Sanders, and he didn't even hit 1,500.
Very dumb.
Most of them are like below 1,000. Some of them are like 1,100. I think there was a couple that hit 1,200, and then there was Barry Sanders because he's just in a class of his own.
He's Barry Sanders. Did he hit 2,000 yards? No. He pretty much hit 2,000 fucking yards, okay? Because if we didn't have Saquon's season, if Saquon rushed for 1,600 yards, no one would have been talking about Saquon. It would have been all Derrick Henry and what he did, but nobody talked about Henry because of what Saquon Barkley was doing. So just realize that, because I didn't realize that until I looked at his stats. RB6 is going to be really hard for this guy to repeat.
Well, and let's take his 2020 season when he hit 2,000 yards. He was the RB3 in fantasy. He doesn't catch passes.
He doesn't.
Plain and simple.
He doesn't catch passes. Who was 1-2 that year? Was that JT Eckler?
No, it was Kamara, Dalvin Cook.
Oh, that's when I got swindled into Alvin Kamara.
What a different world we lived in.
Alvin Kamara,
and neither of them even played a full 16 games.
Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, your top 3 running backs in 2020.
And this is their points per game. And this is what's so wild to me. Alvin Kamara, his points per game that season, almost 5 more points per game than what Derrick Henry had. And Derrick Henry had over 2,000 rushing yards.
Wow.
That's insane. That's absolutely
that is the power of receiving work in PPR fantasy football leagues.
Dalvin Cook, 1,500 yards. And
so even if you think that Derrick Henry can do what he did last year again at age 31, finishing as the RB6 is going to be extremely difficult. Like he slots in for me as my RB8. And I'll be honest with you, I don't even love that. But when I do my projections, he comes in as the second leading rusher. And I have him over 1,500
He's
yards.
the leading rusher for me, Josh, and I still have him at RB9. So.
Yeah, I mean, I still have I have Saquon at 9 more, or no, I have Bijan at 9 more yards than Derrick Henry. I actually have Saquon at like 1,366. I have a pretty steep drop off for Saquon.
So, I just because I went and clicked on the 2020 because I was interested on the numbers. There were 9,000 yard or 2,000 yard rushers that year. James Robinson, one of them. Fun fact.
Boy.
Just showing what the different time was. And the ninth guy, Lamar Jackson.
Hey.
His now teammate at 1,005 rushing yards. He just hit that threshold, averaging 6 point yards per carry. Also,
the draft price. I want to say this really quick. The draft price was Derrick Henry. You are paying for consistency.
100%.
Straight up. You are not
100%.
paying for the fact that he's going to finish as an RB6 or honestly, maybe not even a top 5 running back. But you're paying for, you know exactly what you are getting from Derrick Henry.
You know it's top 10 every week.
Week out. Pretty much, yeah.
Also,
but the problem is because he doesn't catch passes.
It's 5 to 10 or 8 to 10.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, shout out Ronald Jones II.
Yeah, boy.
Longest rush of 2020 at 98 yards.
Remember
beat
when
out Derrick Henry's 94.
Those were the days.
God, this was Kenyon Drake. Here, why I hate Kyler Murray? 11 rushing touchdowns and 819 rushing yards in 2020. Where the fuck is that Kyler Murray?
Yeah, that is not.
Where is that Kyler Murray? That's what we need in fantasy football. Anyways, moving on. Mark Andrews. I'm interested to see what Josh is going to say
here
Josh. About Mark Andrews because I feel he's appropriately placed.
You know, and honestly, that's kind of where I'm at with it. I think everybody is going to just remember the drop of the 2-point conversion in the playoffs. But Lamar Jackson loves Mark Andrews. And even last year had a 14.5% target share. But that 14.5 target share, 4 targets per game. 4.
Is that good?
No, not at 14.5%. Like, that is bad. But again, it just boils down to this offense doesn't throw the football. But what we have seen with Mark Andrews has been this. It's been a steady decline over the past 3 seasons because of the presence of Isaiah Likely. They're running a lot of 12 personnel. They're getting Isaiah Likely involved. He's running a lot more routes. What has kept Mark Andrews elevated? Touchdowns. Plain and simple. And they are the flukiest, most difficult stat to predict year in and year out. We talk about this all the time.
Unless it's Mark Andrews. No, I'm joking.
I mean, he has scored.
Since his rookie year, it's been 4 or more, I think, every season.
Yeah, he scored 51 total over his 7-season career. He averages right around 7 per season. And the last 3 seasons, he scored 22. And he had 11 last year. He scores touchdowns. You can basically pencil him in for 7 touchdowns, right? But you're getting into that tight end dead zone here at tight end 7, right? This is the area where you just really don't want to draft a tight end. It just makes more sense to wait. For me, I'm waiting and drafting Tucker Kraft. That's what I'm doing, right? Yeah. Because
Hunter Henry.
If the touchdowns for whatever reason don't come, Mark Andrews is like tight end 15.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, 2 years ago, he had 6.1 targets per game in 10 games played. Last year, again, 4 targets per game. He had 69 over a full season. That's about what you can expect now going forward. Like, he's not that 100 target per season guy anymore. He has fallen off because they're evenly distributing targets to the tight end between him and Isaiah Likely. And the target earner, quote unquote, in this offense now is Zay Flowers. The difference is Flowers doesn't score touchdowns because he's a fucking smurf. Mark Andrews will score touchdowns. But touchdowns are hard to predict. And if you're predicting regression for Lamar Jackson, those touchdowns have to come from somewhere. So there's a chance that losing touchdowns for Mark Andrews, he's going to end up finishing either low end in that top 12 or potentially outside of that. And it becomes a wasted draft spot, at tight end 7.
I just watched Wicked with Maggie, so I picture Zay Flowers in Munchkin Land. Continue.
I love it.
There you go.
I was fully ready, Josh, to fight you. And you do this to me about once a week where I disagree with everything you're saying until you button your point up. And I was going to say Mark Andrews is the one tight end I would take in the touchdown or tight end dead zone. But then you're absolutely right. I went and said, okay, what if he only scored 7 touchdowns last year? All of a sudden he's the tight end 11. And I am the advocate of you don't waste draft picks on the tight end 11. And then you two bring up 2 extremely interesting guys going after him, Tucker Kraft and Hunter Henry. And there's even a few other names out there. You're absolutely right. I will say in best ball, and this episode will air while people are still doing a lot of best ball drafts. In best ball, I'm way more willing in this like 10th round area to grab Mark Andrews because
especially if I paid up for Lamar.
So,
hold on, let me just finish real quick. Yeah. Yep. So I'm more interested in best ball for 2 reasons. One, the touchdowns. It's I don't need to know when he's going to score them as long as he scores some of them.
Yep.
And 2, I know I'm taking another tight end. So it feels a little bit safer because there's at least somebody else there in case this fall off does happen. And I have been able to pair him with guys like guys like Tucker Kraft. And I mean, I got cheeky one draft and was able to get Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews.
Oh, wow.
the old thing you had to do in like the 3rd round, I was able to do in the 10th and 11th round now because people just hate these guys. So
well,
I came away with this saying that Andrews is pretty appropriately priced. I mean, I have him statted out as my tight end 8. But I only have him at 72 targets.
Yeah.
And so much of that production, it still comes from touchdowns. And you start pulling away touchdowns, either, maybe DeAndre Hopkins steals a couple, right? Maybe Isaiah Likely ends up scoring a couple of more. All those factors come into play, and now you're talking about the tight end 15. It just doesn't, he needs to maintain that touchdown production, and that's what makes him such a difficult pick in that range during, especially these traditional redraft leagues.
Well, you stole kind of my question there because the 2 guys you had to pick in the 3rd round, now you have to pick against in the 9th round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you rather Travis Kelce or Mark Andrews, Ryan?
It's still Kelce for me. As much as I'm going to write an article about this for our look inside for the Chiefs rather. We are overblowing the step back from Travis Kelce last year. The kid still balled. The guy still balled with just 3 receiving touchdowns. I was
going to say he had over 80 catches and 800 yards, and people are like, "Oh, he's dead."
I think
so.
There were like 2 other tight ends that hit that mark.
Well, the perennial Travis Kelce hater. 1, because of where he was at in ADP. 2, because I think he's a dingus.
A little bit.
If I'm sitting there, I have at this point, probably 4 backs, maybe 5 running backs, 3, 4 wide receivers.
This is going to be the year that Joe drafts Travis Kelce, and
when he blows,
he's going to absolutely
wheels are falling off.
It would hurt my fantasy team, but I'd smile.
The only thing Joe likes more than his fantasy team is being right. So.
Don't smile because it happened, baby. Cry because it's over. Sabrina Carpenter. That's perfect. But no, I'm truly enticed. I did it in our mock draft. I'm like, Travis Kelce kind of feels like a steal here in the 8th round. This.
Yeah. Especially with the Rashee Rice situation finally being settled and a suspension very likely coming this year. Now you're looking at Xavier Worthy, maybe Hollywood Brown gets involved. Travis Kelce still needs to be the guy in that offense.
He's the middle of the field guy with Rashee Rice out of the question. So yes, I think it's very interesting that, those 2 guys are back to back. And I figured it was Kelce. It should be Kelce, but just wanted to put that out there.
Kelce still stats out as my tight end 4. I'm not off on Kelce by any means.
Kelce was my 3 until the San Francisco news just kept getting worse and worse. And I had to move Kittle up.
Yeah. Honestly, I think after I scrub my projections, Kittle might end up as my 2. Maybe even 1, truthfully.
I would yell at you, but I wouldn't be that right.
So just quick tight end overview. Bowers, McBride, Kittle, 1, 2, 3.
And I started this year making the argument Kittle did not belong in that conversation. I am backing all the way off of that.
Wrong.
Yeah.
If you don't get any of those 3 guys, I think this whole show is recommending you skip on Sam Laporta and TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah.
We are out on them.
Very much skipping on TJ Hawkinson.
Oh,
you can watch the Vikings preview to find out about that.
I think unless you want to grab Travis Kelce in the 8th or 9th round, Tucker Kraft is your next best bet in the 11th. And after that, Hunter Henry in the 14th?
I'd say this show has been very pro Tucker Kraft and Hunter Henry this whole season, and I feel like that's the way to go at this point. So.
Hunter Henry, Hunter Henry under Josh McDaniels in his one season had his best season of his career. And he looked good last year because Drake May wanted to target the title.
Yeah, and that, like, the biggest thing for Hunter Henry last year was just consistency. Like, it was just so up and down. And I think
it's going to be better this
steady
year.
Play caller this year, I think we'll see a lot more consistency from him.
One that is interesting, because I know we've already recorded the Seahawks one. Noah Fant was released.
Yeah.
Elijah Arroyo time, baby.
So if Elijah Arroyo can pick up the offense, AJ Barner's going to get the first crack. AJ Barner can't catch, though.
Nope.
So that's the problem.
He's straight up an inline blocker.
No, he's a fantastic inline blocker.
He'll play the Foster Moreau for the Seahawks. He'll play that role.
If Elijah Arroyo can pick it up and Sam Darnold can just be average and get him the football, Elijah Arroyo is probably going to be a quick stream of the week for Ryan if he plays well in the first few weeks. So just keep your eyes.
Elijah Arroyo may be a week one stream of the week because I know his rostership isn't going to be that high.
And I'll tell you what, the way the front office with Seattle is just raving about him. I think they're going to get him involved early and often.
Just understand that if you don't get the first three, you don't get Kelsey in that tight end dead zone, as we call it. It's Tucker Kraft, Hunter Henry, or you're streaming.
Yep.
Like, that's because none of these guys.
Yeah. The only other one that I would say, you know what, I'm okay with it is David Njoku. He's the only other one.
That's fine.
I'm probably just avoiding that offense altogether.
But and that's a 100% fair statement. Like, if you told me I'm just out on Cleveland, I buy it.
Yeah.
But if there's going to be one piece that I think shines, especially with the Quinshon Judkins situation that's going on, it'll be Njoku. And I don't care who's the quarterback at that point. He's the only one that I would trust, just with an ambiguous.
We've said it on the show. If you put David Njoku with an average quarterback that targets a tight end, he'd be the tight end 2 every single year. We'd be talking about David Njoku as a top 3 tight end in the NFL. Training camp battle to watch is the tight end position. Andrews versus Likely. Like, Mark Andrews isn't going anywhere unless he gets injured.
Yeah.
It's plain and simple. Andrews will be 30 in September. Likely's entering his contract year and is 25.
Well, and that's, to me, is what makes this really interesting is because this is going to be a situation where the team is going to have to make a decision. So they may look to say, you know what, let's feature Likely and just see if he can be the guy that can, carry this offense, right? Like, it was the same thing when Philly went from, Brent Selleck to Zach Ertz, and then from Zach Ertz to Dallas Goedert, right? Like, there was that steady progression of, the next guy up is slowly going to take that role. And we're at a point with this Baltimore tight end room where Likely needs to take that step because Baltimore needs to know, can he be for us what Mark Andrews was for us?
I just feel like
even if Mark Andrews still is around for the next couple of years, like, they need to see if Likely can carry the role of being the lead tight end guy.
Likely just screams to me the guy who's about to go get paid.
He's going to get paid. Baltimore's not going to pay
him. And it could very well be that, which means that they're going to spend a draft pick on a tight end next year.
Yeah.
2 of them.
Yep. Likely's going to get paid. So to me, it's Andrews unless Likely gets hurt. It really is. So,
yeah.
All right. Best bets, Josh, if the Ravens score 1 rushing touchdown in every regular season game, that's plus 1,000 on DraftKings.
I think they only missed this by 1 game last year because this was the bet we were talking about last year of mine.
I was going to say, like, I just, like, you look at that, you look at Lamar, you look at Derrick Henry, like, plus 1,000? Like, that's good money.
Great money. It was fun to track last year because I think it was good till week 11 for me. And then I think that was their bad week. I don't remember exactly when it died, but it was a fun one to track.
And then, Ryan, you have Mark Andrews 5 touchdowns at plus 125, 10 touchdowns at plus 600.
If I'm getting positive money on 5 or 10 on Mark Andrews, I'm putting money on it. As soon as I saw both of these, I put money on them. So,
and I will give you my defensive one. Roquan Smith tackles. That's the only guy I'm going to give you a bet on.
The Rover.
That's it. I'm not even going to go further on this defense. I think their defense is overrated. So they are. I think their defense is overrated. I think they outplay who they are, which isn't bad, obviously, but I think they outplay who they are.
Gotcha. So you're saying the players themselves are overrated, not the unit is overrated.
Yeah. As in Roquan Smith is a very good individual. As individuals, I think Kyle Hamilton, Roquan Smith are good. As a unit, I think they improve each other. But like Marlon Humphrey's washed. Nate Wiggins is bad. Nnamdi Madubuike outside of his contract year, horrible.
Yeah.
So like, that's what you got to go with.
I got you.
Next up, the Detroit Lions.
That's gonna
for
be
Josh. That's gonna be a good one. For Josh, Ryan, myself, you follow Club Fantasy on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Club Fantasy FFL. The URL is clubfantasyffl.com. Always remember, defense wins championships. Offense wins fantasy football. We will see you on the next